Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Beautifully Imbalanced. I am Deshae Carter. Today, I'm just going to do a mental health update. We are in the month of March, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, my goodness, it's been a journey. Before we dive in, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. You guys. So, my therapist goes on a break every November. So towards the end of November, after my birthday, she goes on a break. She comes back in January. Well, this time, actually, I want to say close to October, I lost my insurance, and so I was no longer seeing my therapist. I was only talking to her when it came to my children. And so I haven't been in talk therapy for the last 4 months. Was that 4 months? October, whatever. 4 months, whatever. Y'all can do the math. It's been a while. And I also, when I lost my insurance, I lost my acupuncture as well. So I've been having to do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to my mental health, and wasn't expecting to get emotional. That was challenging because PTSD has been one of the mental illnesses that have been the hardest for me to manage. And due to my healing, I've been allowing myself to feel my feelings because I need to learn how to cope. I need to learn healthy coping skills and learn how to cope with different feelings. And, y'all. So I, my goodness, it was a challenge. The key for me with PTSD was rest. It was rest because I was so overstimulated. My goodness. I was overstimulated by my thoughts. I was overstimulated because as much as I wanted to be calm, my mind was like trying to make sure I was safe. Hyper vigilant, ultra sensitive, and hyper aware. Did I say that one already? Hyper vigilant. Yeah. So it was a lot, you guys. It was draining my body and my mind, and I slept a lot, but my body needed it. And you really have to start listening to your intuition and shit. Like, a long time ago, I wanted to get noise canceling earphones, but I thought that I would be being a bad mom by doing that, because I felt like I was saying that my kids were so annoying that I needed to cancel out the sound, not realizing that the sound was making me overstimulated because of my PTSD, because I live in a fight or flight state. And so I didn't get them, but it helped so much. Canceling the noise, because it doesn't cancel. I thought it would like cancel them out to where I couldn't hear them at all, and I felt like that was just being unresponsible and irresponsible. Yeah, sorry. So I started with silicone, because silicone you can still hear. Then I got these little earbuds from the TikTok shop. They gave them to me to market, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And it was so intense that I ended up using my birthday money to get me the Beats that I love. But all of that, it helps me so much. That plus aromatherapy and rest has been the biggest thing for me. But the reality is I still fight it. And I have to stop fighting it. I have to accept the fact that I have PTSD. And that means that sometimes, even though I want to get work done, even though I want to play with my kids, even though I want to go hang out or whatever the hell I want to do, even though I want to work out, I'm gonna need to take a fucking nap, dude. And sometimes it doesn't even need to be a long nap. I used to wonder how people could take a 15-minute nap. Sometimes I just need a little 15 minutes of closing my eyes, not even taking a nap, you know? Just closing off those senses. So closing off the senses of sight and hearing was very helpful for me. That plus journaling helped. Music, of course, helped. Music is always one of my greatest healers. I didn't work out. Working out usually helps me a lot, but I rested. My body needed to rest before I can get in the groove of working out because it was so intense. I don't know if you know, but when your body lives in a fight or flight state, it's ready for fight. It's ready to fight or flight. Like, it's really ready for that. It's ready to do what needs to be done to get you to the next point so you can live, so that you can survive. And so it raises your heart rate, and that causes inflammation and other things. And it's a whole scientific thing that I'll dive into on another thing. Maybe we'll see, but it's a lot. It takes a lot on your physical body because like I said, your physical body has these things in place to protect you. And so I do now get into the rest and digest state, but not as often as I would if I was getting my acupuncture and my therapy. And so I've had to be that person for myself, which a lot of people are, but they're not showing up for themselves in the way that they need to. And so I wasn't. So I had to do a lot of self-reflecting and thinking about what I've learned in my studies, what I've learned from therapy, what I learned in acupuncture. And I had to get to the root of what I needed to do to not just survive, because I need to thrive. And the reality is, this mental illness is a part of my life. It's a part of my life. It's a part of me. And so I have to listen to what it needs so that I don't let it take over me, so that I can still live a quality life, right? And so that's what I've been doing, is really just listening and doing what I need to do to take care of this part of me, the same way I would do to take care of other parts of me. You know, with my PCOS, I eat a certain way, I work out regularly. I try to listen and respond instead of hear and react, right? I do what I need to do to minimize my stress, which usually means just choosing what's in my control and focusing on that. And that helps with my PCOS, because PCOS is a hormone imbalance, and the hormones get crazier when you're stressed. The hormones get crazier when your diet is out of whack and when you're not eating right. And that's how I treat my PCOS, but it also helps me to treat my anxiety and my depression as well. And so I had to figure out what is going to help with the PTSD. And so far, closing my eyes, resting, and closing off or dimming the sound, dulling the sound has helped me. And I guess PTSD came up to me because that, like I said, that's the hardest mental illness that I've had to holistically heal or treat. But I feel a lot better now, and I'll go a little bit over what I'm doing. So I'm gonna sit down because I'm not gonna continue my walk until I'm done with this video. So what I've been doing in my lifestyle, I've had a lifestyle change, and I do more art. I would like to draw or do something creative, as far as visually creative, once a day. I haven't met that need, but I've been doing it more frequently than I was before, so it's still benefiting me. I dance more. That's another thing that I want to be a daily thing. I dance more, I sing more. I work out 3 times a week. I go on this nature walk, and so it's more than an hour, and I'm in nature, And so that's very grounding for me, and I'm by myself, so that's also very helpful for me to connect with myself and my body and to isolate the sounds. What else do I do? I rest. I am normally on a sleep schedule. Recently I've been working on my website and getting things prepared for April. So my sleep cycle, I'm not on my normal sleep routine, but I still sleep. I'll just allow myself to sleep in, and I'll take naps, because I need my rest. My rest has to happen. I don't get involved in other people's business. I never really did before, but now I really don't. Like, if someone wants to come and talk about such and such and why they did whatever they did, I usually don't welcome gossip, but I don't do it even more now. I'm more firm with the boundary, I should say. I'm a lot more firm with my boundaries, period. Because I don't say I can't get overstimulated, because there's sometimes where I'm overstimulated, and I don't say it's helpful, but I've learned to thrive in those situations usually when they're not related to my PTSD, when it's just a normal overstimulation. But when it's the PTSD, it's more intense, because, like I said, the hypervigilance, my senses are heightened. My smell is heightened, so I'm very sensitive to smell and sound. Just like you could be and that shit will irritate me. Like, it will, like, my skin will, like, it's like a irritation within because it's your nervous system. And it's irritating. And to the point where, like, if you touch me, my skin will crawl. And it could be a loving touch. It doesn't matter, and that's not a way. I'm a loving person, and I like to comfort. I like to, if you need a little rub or you need a hug or whatever. And so, finding ways to cope with this is very important to me for many reasons, but that is one of the biggest reasons, so being more firm with my boundaries, taking space, not total isolation, but taking space for myself. Because the reality is, when you have PTSD, you have intrusive thoughts, and you can easily be triggered. And sometimes your triggers will change, and you don't know what's triggering you. But it'll connect you to what caused your PTSD. And so it's such an uncomfortable feeling and it's, other people may not understand it. And so because of those two reasons, you want to isolate yourself. One, because you don't want to be triggered. Two, because you feel so different that you don't want to be around people, because it's like a light is cast on you for being different. And it's easier to be away from people than to feel that way from people you love. And so we isolate. And the isolation is usually what eats away at us, because we're stuck with those intrusive thoughts. We're stuck with being by ourselves, and it just worsens the illness. And it eats away at you, And so taking breaks, taking time to be with yourself, taking time to connect with yourself. My kids know, I say I need space, and I'll leave and I'll go wherever I need to go to take space. And I teach that to them, so now they take space when they're in their feelings. So it's just using words like that. Even when you're with a partner or friend or whatever, I need space. It has nothing to do with you or who you are or whatever the case may be. I need space. My body needs space from stimulation. It's very personal, because the illness is and the illness usually takes more than one thing. And that's why I use therapy and acupuncture and working out and rest and earbuds, not these specifically, but things of that nature, noise canceling and things of that nature. So it's about doing the research, trying out some things, listening to your body, listening to your needs, you know, and providing them, giving yourself what you need, you know. Overall, now, because during the holiday season, it was hard for me. I was sleeping a lot and I was crying a lot, and I feel better now. Like I said, I've been working out 3 times a day. I've been doing these things, these other little things, you know. I've been eating differently. The things we put in our body make a big impact. The nutrients and the, you know, vitamins and all the things. It makes an impact on our lives. And I don't know, I've never done the research about meat and things of that nature, but it just felt like the time for me to eat less meat. So I've been eating less meat and eating more fruits and veggies and grains and nuts. And I'm drinking more water, drinking more coconut water, more coconut milk, more teas from herbs, teas from, you know, the cinnamon bark, or from the peelings of fruits like pineapple, mango, orange, things of that nature, papaya. Just eating more nourishing things, loving on my body, and letting her know that I am a safe space. This is a safe space. And no matter what happens, I got you. So you don't have to live in a fight or flight state because I got you. You know what I mean? And just showing up for her in more than just saying it. Allowing her to feel like this is a safe space. And I've started doing tapping as well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I knew about tapping beforehand. I forgot about it, knew about it, forgot about it, knew about it. But I've been breathing more and tapping more, but I started doing it for vanity reasons. I started doing it because I want to get my jawline back. I love my rolls. I love my dents. I love my stretch marks. I love all that shit, but I am not a fan of my extra chin. And so I started giving myself neck massages and breathing in my nose more frequently and tapping more. And all of those things help get you into the rest and digest state. And for whatever reason I started, I don't care. I'm grateful that I started it because it's helped as well. It's a sort of release that you get when you do the tapping. I don't know the science behind it. I never studied it because it just felt so good that I didn't care. I usually do study the science behind it because I'd be curious, but it just feels so good. I usually start with my chest. And there's face ones that I used to do, like the temple feels so good, but because, like I said, my vanity reasons, I wasn't worried about that. I started with my chest, and then I do my neck because the thyroid is connected to the neck, and so I want to get rid of all that shit. And so I do that, and I do the back of my shoulders and my shoulders, and I go down my arm, and I do underneath my arm right here. But look it up. It's called tapping, and look up some breathing techniques. I was never a big fan of breathing, but I've been doing it more because it's just been helping. Like I said, I started because that damn mouth tape they keep talking about. And they're talking about how because your mouth is closed and all the things that help or whatever. And so I've just been breathing more through my nose instead of buying mouth tape. Because I'm not going to be honest, I'm a little scared about the mouth tape. After I did some further researching, I'm like, damn, I mean, I could get a stuffy nose and have that mouth tape on my nose and then be suffocated and die. But anyways, that's my dark mind at work. But yeah, so I have been finding more strength in breathing and connecting with that and connecting with my body and seeing what she needs. And so whatever illness that you may be facing by yourself, if you don't want therapy or you don't trust therapy or you can't get therapy at this time, I'm encouraging you to do some research and make sure that, I hate to sound like a college student or a college professor, But make sure that these sources are legit as fuck, scholarly sources, okay? And make sure that you find at least 3 that are in alignment. Or you can go on ChatGPT and ask them, but ask them to only use scholarly resources. And ask them, if you want to heal holistically, what are some holistic treatments? They're going to give you a whole disclaimer, but they're still going to give you those treatments. Do it. You're worthy of being You're healed. You're worthy of feeling sane. You're worthy of feeling comfortable in your own body. And your body deserves that, because the only reason why it's acting up is to protect you. But it makes your life harder. And it's not healing it, treating it doesn't, it's still challenging because it takes a lot of time and energy, but it's better than the challenge it takes to just have it and not be treating it, So do your research, go to groups of people who are experiencing similar things and hear what they have to say. And I just really want people to feel more comfortable talking about this stuff, because so many of us are experiencing it, and because it's so taboo to talk about it, because there's so much judgment around having mental health issues, it's not talked about enough, and people feel shame, and the shame increases the illness. So I just want you to know that there's no shame in whatever mental illness you have. I will say that I have PTSD, anxiety, depression, and what is it called? Adjustment disorder. And I manage them all holistically. I don't take, and I'm not saying you should do what's best for you. I felt like antidepressants wouldn't be best for me. I utilize essential oils. I utilize aromatherapy. I utilize nutrition and herbs and nature and fitness and dance and talk therapy and acupuncture. There's so many ways to treat what you have, no matter what you have, and you have to find what's best for you, but that means you have to try. You have to try. And I want you to know that you're worthy of trying. Your life has meaning. And so as hard as it may feel, you're worthy of taking that step. You're worthy of the challenge it takes to get to some sort of clarity and some sort of normacy, or whatever you want to call it. I don't like calling it normacy, because I really believe that all of these illnesses are strengths, but we are used to functioning them in their weakness state. When my PTSD is acting up to the point where it's exhausting me and making me extremely emotional, I'm utilizing it as a weakness. But when my PTSD allows me to observe what's going on around me, right? When it heightens my observation, my hypervigilance, and it heightens my sense, so I can smell if there's a fire all the way down there, right? It heightens my sound, so I can hear what's going on even though I'm talking to you. That's a safety thing. That's protecting me. That's a strength. That's a strength. My anxiety, when my anxiety is keeping me from getting shit done because of what might happen, that's a weakness. But when my anxiety is preparing me, say I have an event, and in my mind, my anxiety has already prepared what to do in situations if shit goes down, because my anxiety thinks that far ahead. That's a strength. These things are not weakness. They're only weaknesses if we operate them in as weaknesses. We need to learn them, feel them, so you can learn them and cope with them, right? So then you know how to utilize them when you need to utilize them as a strength. Everything, you have to feel things and get familiar with them to know how to utilize them as a strength. Just like when you get tools or when you get new equipment or whatever, you have to study it, right? You have to sit with it and study it so you know how to utilize it. You have to try it out. If you're not a studier, but you're a trial and error person, you have to try it out to know how to utilize it, to know how to use it at its best strength. If you get a new camera, you got to study that. You got to practice with it. And then you'll know how to use it to where it can make you some money, right? Or at least take some really dope pictures, which is still going to what? Make you some money. You have to do it. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work, okay? So I love you. And I care for you. And I want you to know that you are fully fucking capable of treating whatever is going on with you. And so I want you to remember that you are worthy always. You are so worthy. You are. You're worthy of healing. You are worthy of treatment. You're worthy of finding out. You're worthy of trial and error. You are worthy of looking in the mirror. And you are worthy of self-reflection and the strength that comes from it. You are worthy of restoration and self-forgiveness. You're worthy of self-trust, self-communication, effective, loving, kind communication to yourself. You're worthy of rest. You're worthy of rest. You're worthy of taking space for you. You are worthy of being connected to others. You are so worthy of being connected to others. I don't care what mental illness you have. I don't care what you have. You're worthy of being connected to others. So do not isolate yourself. Do not cut yourself off. Do not feel unworthy. You are worthy. You are. Okay? Until next time. Bye-bye.